why I see no point in joining South African political parties. As a native South African, I'm fed up with political parties promising us the world while delivering nothing but empty slogans. Why should I bother joining the ANC, PAC, EFF, MK, or Mayibuye if I'm not chasing a parliamentary seat or a fancy party job? And don't even get me started on the DA, FF+, Rise Mzansi, PA, BOSA, or IFB. They're a complete waste of time for people like us. These so-called left-leaning parties talk big about land and economic freedom for natives, but they're just using our votes to line their own pockets. I'm done with that. From now on, the only party getting my vote is one that brings back high school politics, because our students won't wait for some future freedom. They'll fight for it now, just like they did in 1976 and 1986. Let's break it down. Let's be real. What's the point of joining a political party like the ANC, PAC, EFF, MK, or Mayibuye if you're not aiming for a big paycheck or a seat in parliament? They claim membership gives you a voice. Sure, you might attend a branch meeting or vote for some local leader. But does that really change anything for us ordinary natives? These parties charge small fees, like our 20 for the ANC or our 10 for the EFF, and they'll tell you it's about being part of the struggle. But when you look closely, it's the same old story. The leaders get rich, while we're left with nothing but promises. I don't see any real benefits for the average person, just a lot of talk about revolution that never reaches our communities. The ANC, EFF, PAC, MK, and groups like Mayibuye love preaching about land and economic freedom for native South Africans. They say they're fighting for us, but where's the action? They don't mobilize us to pool our resources, buy farms, or start businesses. Instead, they use our votes to secure jobs and wealth for themselves. Look at the former EFF's Mzansi. He once complained on Twitter about his farm's grass being burnt. His farm, while he was out here telling EFF members to occupy land, he's already got his. Julius Malema is no different, living large while the rest of us struggle. The ANC's been at it for decades, handing out tenders to loyalists. MK and PAC might sound radical, but they're just more of the same. Promises of economic freedom that only seem to free up the politicians' bank accounts. And don't even bother with the DA, FF+, Rise Mzansi, PA, BOSA, or the IFP. These parties are a dead end for native South Africans. The DA might talk about jobs and clean governance, but it's clear they don't care about our communities. They're too busy serving the suburbs. The FF+ is all about protecting minority interests, which means nothing to us. Rise Mzansi and BOSA are just new faces with the same tired ideas funded by the DA bosses, and the IFP stuck in its Keynesian bubble. Joining these parties or voting for them is like throwing your voice into a void. They're not for us, period. What about getting a paid job through a party? Forget it. Your chances are next to nothing. These parties employ maybe a few thousand people nationwide. ANC might have a couple thousand staff, EFF a few hundred. Compare that to millions of members and voters, and it's clear, only the connected get those jobs. Parliamentary seats or councillor roles, paying our 500,000 to $1 million a year, go to loyal insiders, not ordinary members like you or me. Even in smaller parties like PAC or Mayibuye, the odds are slim, and their budgets are too small to pay reliably. You'd have to grind for years, know the right people, and maybe have a degree just to get noticed. Meanwhile, the elite keep winning, and we're left with nothing. I'm not saying don't vote. Voting matters, but we've got to vote wisely. I'm done with parties that dangle economic freedom in front of us while they cash in. From now on, the only party I'll support is one that brings back high school politics. Remember 1976, when Soweto students stood up against apartheid's rotten education system? Or 1986, when young people kept the pressure on for our political freedom? Those students didn't wait for politicians to hand them a future, they fought for it. A party that mobilizes high school students today could spark that same fire. Our youth won't sit around for empty promises. They'll push us to pool our resources, buy land, build businesses, and take control of our economic destiny. Now, not later. So, that's my take. I see no real reason to join these parties as they stand. They're using native South Africans like me for votes while the leaders get richer. We need a new kind of politics, one led by our students, just like in 76 and 86. That's the party I'm waiting for. What about you? Which parties got your vote? And how do we get our youth to lead the charge? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button and subscribe for more real talk.